Jesus was crucified and rose from the dead for all practical purposes, 33 AD. And then the church began, and then Antioch becomes the center of the movement, not Jerusalem. They were kicked out of Jerusalem. And then the Apostle Paul goes on a missionary journey. He's sent from the church of Antioch, and that's his first journey, goes into southern Turkey. His second journey, he goes back and sees those churches again. And then Paul starts his third journey. And on his third journey, he is raising support for the poor in Jerusalem. Goes back to the original churches, goes to Ephesus. He spends 2 years in Ephesus, and he writes a letter to the church at Corinth, 1 Corinthians. Then he goes back to Macedonia, which is the area that Philippi, Berea, and Thessalonica are in. He writes a second letter to the Corinthians from Philippi, that's 2 Corinthians. And then he travels down from Macedonia, travels back to Corinth, and then he stays a good while in Corinth. And while he's in Corinth, this is all about in Acts 20, he writes the letter to the church in Rome. And then he leaves Corinth, goes back to Macedonia, goes to Philippi again. This will be his last time in Philippi. Goes back to the coast and then to Jerusalem, where he's arrested. Paul's arrested, and he spends 2 years in a jail in Caesarea along the ocean. And then, because he's a Roman citizen, he appeals to the emperor. And after those 2 years, he then travels, and he's shipwrecked on his way to Rome, goes to Rome, and he is under a kind of a house arrest while he is in Rome. While he's in Rome, he writes what we call the prison letters, the prison epistles. And Philippians is one of those. While he's in Rome, in a jail, he's writing to the people at Philippi.